In this video, I'm going to show you my 3-step process for creating atmospheric photos like the ones you see here right now. So this is a style that I've leaned towards right from the beginning. Over the past couple of years, I have spent the time practicing and trying to evolve this style into what you see today. Now in this video, I'm going to break it all down and make it really simple for you to replicate in your own photos. So the first thing I like to do in my edits are the global adjustments. These are adjustments that affect the image as a whole, and they consist of exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, and saturation sliders, as well as the curves. Basically anything in this list here. So in this stage, I'm just trying to adjust the sliders to balance out the image a little, by maybe dropping the highlights and the shadows, and creating a slight S-curve in the curves menu to add a little bit of contrast. In this step, we are basically covering all the basics and the stuff people talk about in most Lightroom tutorials. It is important to know that this is all based on personal preference, as every image is completely different. So after doing all that, I usually bring down the dehaze slightly as well as the clarity to soften the image, and then combat that by adding a little bit of texture. The next part of the global adjustments will be all stylistic choices and include the color mixer, color grading tab, and the calibration options. Like I said, these are all stylistic choices, so feel free to use your own settings for your own style. Or alternatively, you can pause the video here and copy the settings that I have. After completing this step, we are then going to move on to our local adjustments. And these do exactly what they say on the tin. They adjust local areas that you specify using masks, such as radial and linear masks. These are all the basic ones, but you also have more advanced ones such as the color, luminosity, and intersecting masks. All of these will help you select areas of the image that you want to make stand out. When you apply, say, a radial mask, you then have similar options to your global adjustments. By that I mean you can apply a radial mask to a certain part of your image to accentuate that area, which you can then adjust things like the exposure, contrast, and like I do here, even the clarity. I'll add another one here with a radial mask for some motivated lighting. And all I'll do here is add a bit of dehaze to the image by adjusting the dehaze slider and lowering the contrast a bit. I'll speed through some more of these adjustments, but essentially I'm just doing the same thing. Now onto the fun stuff, where we actually create this atmospheric motivated lighting. And I'll do this with my Photoshop document, which you can all download by signing up to my email list on my website, if you so choose to. Link in the description of this video. You can also watch this video here where I show you how to get started with this document and what's included. After bringing your image from Lightroom to this Photoshop document, we can then start creating something special. Now I don't use this for every photo, as every photo is different, but if the situation comes around that I want to add that little bit of atmospheric spice, then this is how I do it. We want to paint some hot spots from the sun, and using motion blur we create some temporary rays that will be used as a selection mask. After copying this mask to our atmospheric lighting layer, we can then fully customize our rays. You can do this basically by adjusting the density of the rays as well as the ray pattern and the color, as seen here. It's important to mention that all the customization that you can do for the rays, you can also do for the atmospheric particles. And yeah, that's basically it. If you have found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification to be notified whenever I do upload another video, because it does help the channel out a bunch. And if you download the PSD, let me know what you think. As always though, I'll see you next week for the next one.